Remember back in the days, people could make fun of black people? People can make fun of white people? And everyone can make fun of gays? And everyone in the world made fun of Canadians. Things have radically changed now. You see this. I think that there's something going on. I think that there is what I call the death of the sitcom. It's probably right now on life support. Because let's just face it, we are way oversensitive. I've talked about this before, but I'm talking about it again right now in some more detail because I see it. It's so prevalent. In my day, remember this guy? Yeah, Archie Bunker. He was a character on All in the Family. He's what some people call a stereotypical, radical, unexcusable racist. But if this was played as comedy, when we were watching it, we knew that Archie was a racist, but he was our racist. He was a lovable racist. And there was no ifs or buts about it. That's who he was. But we understood that, and it was done out of comedy so that we'll know how not to be. Without the show preaching at us like a sermon, it showed us the follies and the trappings of having this type of a bigoted mindset. Remember this other show? This is a spin-off of All in the Family, the Jeffersons. Yeah, I have that theme song going on in my mind right now because just the other day ago I was watching it with my wife. In fact, you could get full episodes of the Jeffersons right here on YouTube. And that was a radical, amazing show because it talked about race, but it didn't talk about it in the way that we talk about it today. And Jefferson was another one of those bigots. He was pretty much a racist, but again, he was funny. And they brought up some topics in that time era and they incorporated into the show, but the show didn't get too bogged down. It wasn't too heavy. That's what I liked about it. Another show, one of my favorites, was Three's Company. Now, here you had a show with two good-looking girls with one guy renting an apartment. But the landlord at the time said, I don't want this to happen. The only way that this setup could happen is if one of the roommates, Jack Tripper, is gay. That's the only way that the landlord allowed this type of living arrangement. So the show had a lot of gay humor. They made fun of gay people, I guess, but people watching the show, they knew that this was just comedy. Even if real life issues were brought up, they brought it up in just an hilarious way. That was the golden age of sitcoms. It was a time where you could just turn off the news and enjoy for a half an hour this made-up world. Of course, it was over the top. It was meant to be. Stereotypical? Yeah, there was some stereotypical moments in all of these comedies that I mentioned, but it was supposed to be like that. You weren't supposed to bring your whatever view that you had into this. You're supposed to say, you know what? I had enough of listening to all the bad news. How much bad news can I possibly consume? So you turn off CNN and all the other newscasts and you just sit down with your family and watch for a half an hour and you'll just laugh. That's what my family did. When we turned on All in the Family and we saw Archie Bunker, we're just laughing as a family. We thought that he was the greatest. And same with the other shows. Now I'm really going to date myself because you had Family Ties. Oh my goodness, you had Different Strokes. Comedy gold. Speaking about gold, the Golden Girls, another one. They were a little bit racy at the time because they went over the edge. but they were never canceled because they went a little bit over the edge. Not at all. But today, because maybe oversensitivity, all of these shows are just dropping off. They're dying like flies. It's hard to find a good sitcom. And the sitcoms that we see now, they're just pretty much preaching at you. It's like a sermon on every single episode. Now, I know a lot of you probably like the show Blackish. It's a good show. The main character, he's awesome. I like him. I could watch every movie that he's in. But the show got a little bit, should I say, political over the seasons. It didn't have to be, but it was almost like somebody was forcing their hand, saying that take a look at what's current on the news and make it a part of the sitcom. And somebody said to one of the executives or one of the main writers, they said, okay, sure, we'll do that. So the writers caved in. And I think they made the show a little bit heavy because it was just an amazing show, but it got too crammed down with everything that's going on in the real world when you're supposed to escape all of that. Now, some of you will say, well, comedy could tell us some reality in what's going on. Yeah, it can. But I think a lot of people and a lot of writers, they forget the idea of comedy. You're not writing a drama, all right? You can get away with that in a drama, but not when you have a situational comedy. Where are the good ones? I think the last good one now is probably Neighbors. And that's a great show because you have a white family moving into a predominantly black neighborhood, and you see how the different races interact with each other. Again, it's over the top, but comedy is, right? It's never subtle. But I like that show. I think that's one of the best shows. I think it's off the air now, or they're on their last season. But the interaction was great. The chemistry between Dave and his family and with the black family was great. Comedy gold. You couldn't ask for anything better. But what do we have now? I can't even recall in my mind a comedy that lives up to that. Or as I hinted on an earlier episode, before this, I talked about Seinfeld and how that was just funny. Flat out just funny. It didn't have any kind of agenda at all. There wasn't any kind of a hidden message. There wasn't. They weren't really trying to sell you something. If they did, it was subtle. It wasn't in your face. Also, Cheers as well. I could go on, Night Court. I mean, these shows were just plain fun to watch. We could get back to that. I know that we can. We as writers could push the industry forward. We don't have to cave in anymore whatsoever. Some shows that I said, you are probably already offended that I mentioned it. That's all right. If there's a show that you don't like, you know what? You could switch the channel. You don't have to sit there and watch a show that you don't like. But now today, rather than people switching the channel, they go on YouTube, they complain, they want the show to be shut down. In the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, we just simply moved on with other things. We were too concerned with bigger things that's going on. So before you send me all of your hate mail and all of your other threats, if you don't like what I'm saying, that's okay. You can move on. But as writers, we could do better. And I think we can do better. Let's do that. Now, by the way, this is not necessarily a comic book or a comedy. This is from my buddy Brent Stark. He's an incredible writer. He's been on my show many times before. And also he has his own podcast that that I produced. I produced 2 seasons of Most Precious Commodity. And this is one of his books as well. So all of the details is down below. And what I did with his stories, I threw in a little bit of different type of comic reliefs through the music and different sound effects. So check it out. It's all within the show notes as well. And also you can check out my audio show. It's called Welcome to Earth Stories. It's all audio, so you gotta listen to it. All the details is down below, or you could go to welcometoearthstories.com. By the way, thank you so very much for watching this channel. It feels great. I could just come here all the time and you're watching, you're leaving comments as well. Some are not the greatest comments, and some comments are just so incredible, and it makes me feel like $1 million. So keep on going with the comments. I read all of them and I respond to all of them as well. Thank you very much. This is York once again. You take care.